All right. Good morning, BNI. I know that it's a tradition to share a little bit, so I'd love to do that. This is my lovely wife. 20 years ago in 2000, when we were getting engaged, and this is our photo in front of Delicate Art Arch at Arches National Park, and we both graduated from BYU and came to Boston. And 20 years later, we live in Harvard, Massachusetts, and this is our COVID picture with our. If you take your hand and show the waist up, we're ready for our camo. We're ready to be on Zoom, and then you look down and it's our PJ bottoms, just because it was been a pretty crazy year, and this is our family. My oldest is going to be a senior, and my daughter is going to be a ninth grader, and then my youngest is going to be a fourth grader. My wife is a creative director and is also in advertising. This is also a very important person. This is Severus, our barn cat, and he's a mouser and loves to hang out in as long as we're outdoors. And he lives in the barn and has his cat door and does a great job. Well, so I'm the digital marketing person in our BNI group, Business Referrals Unlimited. And thinking about digital marketing and what that means, well, it's SEO, it's social media, it's video, making sure your website is mobile and tablet friendly, thinking about ROI, return on your investment. All of these different things are part of digital marketing. But today I thought it'd be really important to talk to the group about the state of local and really what every local business needs to know in a digitally powered world. So think about your business goals. It might be getting new leads and clients. It might be hiring. It might be getting to that next step in revenue. It might be adding a new crew to your group. Think about that a little bit. So how has marketing changed really over the last 10 years, but very dramatically even in the last 2 or 3 years? Well, we all have a very powerful computer in our hands with our smartphones, and it has Google on it. And when in doubt, we always ask Google what we want. So it's no surprise that more buying decisions are made online than ever, with 93% of consumers saying that they used online resources to make a buying decision. Even retail shoppers, 83% actually was online before visiting a store. And you think about the traditional buying decision. Well, let's say I wanted to buy a suit. I'm going to go to Nordstrom's and buy my suit. Here's my money. And then I'm going to say, I love this suit, or I don't love this suit. I hate this suit. And you're going to kind of decide that after. Well, now you think, I'm going to buy a suit. You might look for a local tailor. You might go to Nordstrom. You might go somewhere else, but you're going to look at Google and see what other people say and figure out a little bit more about that suit. And then you buy it. Here's my money. And then you might review it later because you want to decide whether you liked it as much as previous reviewers. And so this is really the zero moment of truth. And it's fairly cyclical. If you research it and find something and then you pay for it, and then you might actually write a review on it, and that contributes to the next person's zero moment of truth. Now, think about where your business stands out as people are making marketing decisions, with that idea that 93% of shoppers, customers, potential clients are all looking at online resources before making a decision. Now, it's not all reviews, it's content, it's your website, but that's what that includes. So it's pretty significant in that customer journey. Now, it used to be that we needed to generate awareness, and then we need to generate findability and reputation. And then we're talking about conversion, and that's actually your website and answering the phone call and doing that quote. And then, of course, we want that consumer to come back. Now, the awareness, you may need to really think about awareness. If you've got a business, like Sylvia's, we may not know that there are Spanish classes in person or online right in our neighborhood. And that's something that she needs to tell everyone about. Findability, you may know that you need a realtor. And so you're going to search online for realtor. You're going to ask your community. You know that there's somebody who does real estate. And then you're looking at your reputation. Even a dermatologist that I got as a referral from my primary care physician, I still wanted to find out their Google reviews, and I actually chose another dermatologist. And in part because of that conversion process, one could get me in a certain period of time, the other didn't call me back quick enough, and I knew that was going to be part of that conversion. And I'm sure many of you are very familiar with this end of funnel and how important it is to get there. And I really focus on those, all those stages, and I think I can help each business win at each stage through digital marketing advertising. So when you think about marketing for the competition, this is just kind of an interesting way to think about it. Sometimes it might be overwhelming. Oh, I can't spend that much money. My dollars are not that, it's just not big enough for what I need to spend online. Well, one of the interesting things you can do is look at a big advertiser in the area, a big direct mail company. You're always getting their mailers. They're always sending it out, but they may have some bad reviews. And when somebody gets that direct mail piece and then they research them online, they may end up choosing business B. And that business B could be you. You could be the business that actually leverages your competition. So the easiest and fastest way to increase your marketing budget is to use your competitors. And so where's the smartest place to start? Well, I really think going from conversion and advocacy, which includes findability and reputation, those are the three kind of focus areas. And then it's awareness. And awareness is really, once you know everything else is in order, then start spending media dollars, if you will, on Google or Facebook. So we can do an evaluation and kind of talk about how you're performing. I'd love to talk to any businesses that you may know, and I'll just go through these things with them. I'll look at their website and their conversion. I'll look at their search presence and how their reviews look, and then of course decide on their awareness, if they're tracking their leads and converting those leads, and also making sure that those leads are turning out an ROI. So here's our friendly neighborhood divorce attorney, Mike Downing, and he's in his entering his third month, but this report is actually for his second month. So even after 2 months, we've just barely gotten his Facebook page in order again. We relaunched it, and his Google My Business page. And just from within the first 60 days, he's already getting 406 impressions in his marketing funnel. From his social posts, 255, and from his views in Google My Business, 151. His engagement is getting higher and higher. I know a number of you have written reviews, and I'm sure more will. And you can look in the email that we sent out with direct links to Google and Facebook to write those reviews. And then, of course, his leads. He's already gotten 7 phone calls, and we don't know if all those phone calls turned into clients, but that's certainly something that he should be looking at, thinking about that. And when he does start spending media dollars, we would track and listen to those calls. As soon as we plug it into Google My Business, we don't necessarily do that because this is just part of your basic business. You should just be aware that you're getting a lot of phone calls from Google My Business. Now, in terms of the content and how that content should look and seeing the type of content, that really needs to be focused on your keywords. And you can see with Mike, he's talking about, do you know what a 209A is, 209A form is? And these are keywords that are then going to resonate with searches. And you can see on here that he only has, so just in the recent time, 42 people like this, 43 people follow this. So this page, even in the last day or so, has increased significantly. And you can look over here at his Google page, and this is also increasing significantly on his Google page. You can see his office location is now here, and you can see his content that Google really cares about to show that he's a real business, that he's got all the keywords popping for the search engine. So now we're able to actually track that, and he's able to feel confident that he's getting an ROI and that he's taking advantage of those key digital pieces. Now, going to the next, well, what exactly are we talking about here? So most businesses are spending 3 to 5% of their monthly revenue on digital advertising, and that does include their website. Our base product is $510 a month, and I do like a business to commit to that for 3 months. And I feel like after 3 months, that's the bare minimum that really any business needs to do, because that's an initial investment that then pays off for the long run. So that includes your local SEO, social, all of those things. And if you want to add on $900 a month for paid search with Google and Bing, you can add on ads for Facebook and Instagram. You can add on retargeting. You can add on SEO. We do websites, and you can redesign a website. You should think about $800 to $4,000 for a big site. And we do have some monthly plans as well that go into that. And then there's also a monthly fee, because you definitely want somebody monitoring that, backing it up, getting the best service. And we do use Google. And you can do a cheaper version of a site, but you might pay $30 a month just for to build your own page, and then you have to do all that work. You have to add up all your photos, do everything. We have a person that does all that for you. You just email us and we do it. And then, of course, videos. Videos are very powerful, and we do videos in grouping. So you might do 4 videos, and you might do 6 videos. And depending on how long those videos are and where you want our camera people to go, that could cost $800 to $4,500 for a video package. And we do generally break that up into 12 monthly payments. So thinking about ROI, it's really important that everyone knows that ROI is the goal. And so I really get uncomfortable when I'm working with a client and they're not able to make an ROI, or they're not able to tell me what their ROI is. And by ROI, what I do is I say that's the total value you're receiving from leads. And you might, and then you divide that by the total cost of whatever you're spending that on. So if you have a $5,000 deal, and let's say it's a $5,000 lifetime value, or maybe it's a $5,000 one-time design project, whatever that is, then you divide that into your spend. My average advertiser spends about $1,250 per month. That would include a website, their base support, and then potentially some ad spend. And that's a 4-time return on that investment. So you can see how easily this pays off and pays for itself over and over again. But if you're not measuring this, then you might just be thinking, wow, I'm spending $1,250 a month. What's happening here? And that makes me uncomfortable, because I never want any of my clients to feel like they're not getting a return on their investment. So be assured that any referrals you send me, I will be working with them to make sure they're getting an ROI and feel good about their ROI, and really know that what we're offering them is really best in class for the best possible price. Now, how do we do that? Well, we're doing the hard work. This is the back scenes. We're looking at spreadsheets. We're actually looking at the Google forms, the website forms, the phone calls, if you're spending money on Google ads. And we're then actually recording that and listening to that and saying they made an appointment. We then send this at the end of the month over to our clients. They then need to go back and say, yes, this turned into it. Now, obviously, for our landscapers, it's a $10,000 project. For our dentists, sometimes it's a new set of dentures, or a $10,000 or a $25,000 project. But most of the time, we're trying to keep this in reason, because we know that not all those appointments will convert, and we know that sometimes a client's only worth $100. So I do want to just thank you for your time, and I'm around to talk to you or any referrals that you might have. Josh Iverson with iMedia Audiences. Thank you so much.